Today, I'm going to talk about the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is a period of time where our soul is essentially screaming out. We've been so disconnected from our authentic self, our wants, our needs, and our self expression that we begin to feel detached from the world around us. And some of us even feel numb. So essentially, it's when we wake up and we begin to question everything. We question ourselves, we question our relationships, we question the entire world around us. We feel this calling to go inward, really simply, to begin to reconnect, to get curious about who we really are and what it is that we really want. I went through a dark night of the soul, and it happened at a time when I'd come to the end of my list of lifelong achievements. I had a successful practice, I was in a committed relationship, I was living nearby to my family, yet I felt so empty, so unfulfilled. Not like I imagined I would feel once I accomplished all of these things. I started to have these really scary physical symptoms. Out of nowhere, I began to faint. And of course, that made me concerned that something was wrong with me. I became highly emotionally reactive. I was agitated all of the time. I would go through periods where I would feel such high anxiety and then go through other periods where I would feel nothing. I would feel completely numb. As I looked around at this entire life I created and I wasn't feeling that sense of connection to it, I began to feel really hopeless. Why was it that I was showing up each and every day and actually started to entertain some thoughts about running away? I would imagine escaping this life and just going somewhere else to start again. What I didn't know was that all of this was happening and I was feeling this way because I was so disconnected from myself. I didn't know what I actually wanted or what I needed, and I wasn't meeting my needs. The lifestyle I was living, I was keeping myself endlessly distracted with either plans or achievements. I was drinking too much, I was eating too many inflammatory foods, and I simply wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't taking care of my body because I wasn't connected to my body. And because I wasn't connected to my body, I wasn't connected to my emotions. If I was even aware of what I was feeling, I wasn't able to share it with those around me. I was always worried about upsetting someone or disappointing someone. Living in this state of disconnection didn't allow me to connect with what I truly wanted, my purpose, my passion. And I was doing work that I didn't feel connected to, feeling so unfulfilled, so hopeless, and so overwhelmed. I found myself wanting to not be around other people. And for me, this was a huge change. I always wanted to have plans. I always wanted to be around other people. I always wanted to be doing something. And now I was finding myself wanting to go into this cocoon to be alone. And when I was alone, I was only more present to all of the upsetting and overwhelming feelings inside of me. I began to worry that there was something wrong with me, right? How could I have so much and how could I feel so bad? And this is why I'm making this video. This stage, the dark night of the soul, is a natural part of our healing journey. It's giving us indication, it's a sign that we might need to step away. We might not need to stop doing all of this conditioned things that we've learned we have to or we should do. And we might need time for ourselves. Now, of course, I imagine many of you are thinking, I have all these obligations. There are things I have to do. I have to pay the rent. I have to take care of my children. I had to do the same. So in the moments where we don't have to do something on the weekends, a couple hours before work, a couple hours after work, after the children go to bed, those are the moments that we can begin to take for ourselves, carving out time, carving out space, beginning to explore and learn who it is that we really are. So if you're out there having all of these experiences, all of these feelings, becoming overwhelmed, maybe not even knowing who it is that you are and what it is that you want, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. These feelings are often a sign that you're growing, that you're evolving, that the world and the life you created maybe doesn't fit for you as much anymore. So what do? The 3 steps. The first step is acceptance. Accept how you're feeling. Don't try to minimize it. Don't try to deny it. Don't try to invalidate it. And begin to create space in your life to get curious and explore what you might actually want, what you might actually need. And as you get those pings, stop resisting or denying it. Watch in your mind for all of those shoulds. Well, I shouldn't rest right now. I shouldn't stop. I should be doing this or that. And take a moment to accept that you might not want to anymore. And that's okay. These choices to accept what we really want and what we really feel will allow us to take that next step, which is to surrender. Many of us are going to be creating a new reality. We're going to be changing the way we're living, making new lifestyle choices. We're going to be showing up differently in our relationships. So our relationship dynamics will change. Some of us may even begin to separate from some relationships. So allowing this new reality to be what it is means grieving for many of us a way of living, an identity, maybe even grieving the actual ending of some of our relationships. As we're taking these first two steps, step 3 is so incredibly important. It's foundational. Step 3 is self-care, making sure that we're feeding our bodies the nutrients that it needs, making sure that we're taking moments to rest, that we're getting restorative sleep at night, and that we're moving our body, releasing, for many of us, all of this old stored energy. A lot of emotions are going to come up when we're in the dark night of the soul. Many of us are going to become present to emotions that have been below the surface for so long. You're going to feel tired. You're going to need your physical resources to be able to tend to your emotions that are coming up. Now, of course, everyone is going to go through the dark night differently. It's going to feel differently for each of you listening. You might even go through it multiple times as you shed more and more of your identity, returning more and more to your authentic self. As a reminder, all of this means that you're healing, that you're evolving. Our human experience is one of evolution. If you've gone through this, or if you're going through this right now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments.